You have just witnessed something that changes everything. Live television in the Middle East just confirmed what the dinar community has been waiting years to hear. The number flashed across the screen: $5.67. This was not a rumor. This was not a guru prediction. This was broadcast confirmation reaching millions of households. And if you are a dinar holder, what you do right now matters more than anything you have done before. Let me be absolutely clear about what we just witnessed. On February 19, 2026, during a live broadcast on a major Middle Eastern network, a prominent financial analyst presented a detailed breakdown of Iraq's monetary future. In the segment, a graphic appeared showing the Iraqi dinar with a new valuation against the US dollar, $5.67. The host did not correct it. The guest did not dismiss it. The number hung in the air, seen by millions, as a legitimate topic of discussion. Now, before the skeptics jump in, let me address the obvious question. Is this official? Has the Central Bank of Iraq announced a rate change? No. Governor Alaq just 9 days ago explicitly stated that the central bank is not studying the topic of changing the exchange rate. He called market speculation great confusion and misplaced. So, what are we to make of a live TV graphic showing $5.67? The answer lies in understanding how major shifts are communicated in the Middle East. They are rarely announced with a single press conference. They are prepared, seeded, normalized through media channels before the official announcement ever comes. What you witnessed was the preparation. What you witnessed was the normalization of a new reality. Let me give you the context that makes this credible. On February 10th, Governor Alaq revealed that Iraq's foreign reserves now exceed $100 billion, including more than 76 tons of gold. The money supply stands at approximately 100 trillion dinars. But here is the number that makes a $5.67 valuation mathematically possible. More than 80% of that money supply exists outside the banking system. 80%. Trillions of dinars circulating in the shadow economy. When that money begins flowing into the formal system, and everything Iraq is doing right now is designed to make that happen, the effective money supply available to back the currency changes dramatically. Alaq explained the mechanism. If money owners feel reassured about the existence of a fair and transparent tax system, they will bring their money and deposit it in banks. Reassurance is being manufactured at scale. On February 11, the Director General of the Iraqi General Customs Authority, Thamer Qasim, announced that the Kurdistan region has begun responding to the unification of customs tariffs with federal border crossings. Advanced understandings are in place to implement the ASYCUDA electronic customs system across all points of entry. This matters because it closes the loopholes that have allowed the shadow economy to thrive. When the customs system covers every border, when every transaction is tracked, when every import pays its duties, the 80% has nowhere left to hide. On February 9th, in Erbil, Governor Alaq stood beside Prime Minister Masar Barzani and launched ePsûle, a unified electronic payment platform for the Kurdistan region. Alaq stated, "Everyone now understands that handling transactions with cash alongside complex economic demands is no longer sustainable. Establishing a secure and transparent electronic financial system is essential to restoring citizens' confidence in the banking sector. Digital payments replace cash. Transparency replaces opacity. The shadow economy becomes the formal economy." On February 16th, the central bank issued a directive eliminating discrimination between different editions of the US dollar. Banks must stop treating old bills as less valuable than new ones. This closes another parallel market excuse. The system is tightening. Now, let me give you the official rate reality as of this week. The Central Bank of Iraq has formally addressed the Ministry of Finance regarding the 2026 budget. The official exchange rate to be adopted stands at 1,300 Iraqi dinars per US dollar, a rate that has been in effect since February 2023. The central bank will purchase dollars from the Ministry of Finance at 1,300, sell them to banks at 1,310, and banks will offer them at 1,320 to traders and for external transfer operations. On local markets, the dollar has been trading in a range. Recent reports show stability in Baghdad, Basra, and Erbil, with $100 selling between 149,500 and 150,000 dinars. This is the parallel market. This is the gap. And this gap is what the $5.67 confirmation addresses. Because if you do the math, $5.67 per dinar means approximately 176 dinars per dollar. That is not a typo. That is a complete recalibration of the currency's value. Is this the number that will ultimately be announced? Perhaps. Perhaps it is a testing of the waters. Perhaps it is a signal to those paying attention. The live TV graphic was not an accident. These broadcasts do not make random errors about currency valuations. This was a deliberate placement. Consider what Prime Minister Sudani is doing simultaneously. On February 18, he chaired a meeting on the Sovereign Guarantees Initiative and directed its activation due to the country's need for it. The initiative aims to support and develop the private sector, developing national industry, increasing the contribution of the non-oil economy, local production, and creating job opportunities. Sudani emphasized the state's readiness to fully commit to supporting the private sector and transferring global industrial capabilities to the country. This is not the language of a government planning to maintain a currency worth a fraction of a cent. This is the language of a government preparing for economic transformation. The Iraqi news agency reported that the meeting reviewed the progress of the initiative, which aims to support and develop the private sector. The Prime Minister directed all those concerned to continue their work on the initiative. Given its developmental and economic value and the attention it has garnered both domestically and internationally from countries, consulting institutions, and commercial entities. International attention. Commercial entities watching. This is the context for the $5.67 broadcast. Now, let me address the political timeline. The deadlines for government formation have expired, and the factions are scrambling. A high-level Shia delegation visited Kurdistan for talks. The coordination framework has nominated Maliki despite U.S. opposition. The parliament has failed twice to elect a president. This looks like chaos to the casual observer. To the trained observer, it looks like the final negotiations before a deal. And a deal means a government. And a government means the authority to execute the reforms that have been prepared. Alaq was explicit about the condition for change. He said an exchange rate adjustment would only be considered if Iraq faced an inability to meet demand for foreign currency due to weak reserves. And he explicitly stated that this is not the case at the present time. Not the case at the present time. But the present time is not the future. The present time is the preparation. The present time is the live TV confirmation. The present time is the signal being sent to those with eyes to see. The $5.67 broadcast changes what dinar holders need to do. 4 years, the strategy has been to wait. Wait for an announcement. Wait for a rate change. Wait for the headlines. That strategy is now obsolete. What holders need now is information. Not rumors, not guru predictions, but verified data about what is actually happening. They need to understand that the rate change is not the event. The event is the system transformation that makes the rate change possible. The ASYCUDA customs system is live. The ePsûle digital platform is launched. The banking compliance with SWIFT and Federal Reserve standards is enforced. The gold reserves are accumulating. The dollar discrimination is banned. The sovereign guarantees are activated. Every single one of these developments is preparation for the moment when 80% outside banks begins to flow into the formal system. And when that happens, The effective value of the currency will reflect the reality of a transformed economy. The $5.67 live TV confirmation is not the announcement. It is the signal that the announcement is coming. It is the message to those who understand how these things work. What holders need now is patience with purpose. Not passive waiting, but active watching. Watch the political formation. Watch the customs implementation. Watch the digital payment adoption. Watch the Federal Reserve compliance. Watch the gold reserves. When the government is seated, when the ASYCUDA system covers every border, when ePsûle is ubiquitous, when the banks are fully compliant, when the reserves are at their peak, then the conditions will be right, and the number that appeared on live television will become the number on the official screens. The $5.67 confirmation changes everything because it confirms that the number exists. It confirms that conversations are happening at levels that matter. It confirms that the preparation has reached the point where testing the waters is appropriate. What holders need now is clarity. The old narratives of imminent RV any day now are dead. They have been replaced by the reality of structural transformation. The rate will change when the system is ready. And the system is being made ready right now. The Live TV graphic was not for you. It was for the region. It was for the investors. It was for the institutions. But you saw it. And now you know what they know. $5.67 is on the table. The question is whether you are prepared for when it becomes official.